So welcome to part two. Made a bit of progress since the last bit of filming. As you can see, things are considerably more stripped down than they were last time. We've got things down as far as this is the exhaust tube, I think. We've got ourselves a cylinder block, which doesn't seem too bad at all. I haven't had a good look at the bore yet, but nothing too ugly in there. I'm going to clean it all back and spray it up again so it's all in fresh hammerite. And cylinder head looks pretty good. A little bit annoying with the head studs. I find that there's not a lot of clearance, and this side of the socket or the spanner just catches on these holes just here, so I might just get the Dremel and just relieve these, that one there I think it was, and this one here, just relieve the sides of it a little bit just to make it a little bit easier for future work if it ever needs to come apart. I've discovered that it is all Whitworth nuts and bolts, so I might look out for some Whitworth spanners just to make that a little bit easier. So I've given this exhaust tube a bit of a clean up. Might give it a little bit more love, but we don't want to go too mad because this is not going to be a concours show item. This is the drive shaft tube. It's a little bit odd going on up here. I think the previous owner had made a bit of an improvisation. Didn't have the original transom bracket, so had made these spacers up to go with it. Which will look a little bit non-standard, so I might buy a new transom bracket off of eBay. There's the one that was fashioned up for it, but yeah, I might put that back to original. The actual gearbox and prop all looking good nick. I may not even clean those off. May just sort of give those a little polish up and put it all back together. Be nice to get the drive shaft tube re-chromed, but again I'm not too sure whether we need to go that crazy, because this will be a functional engine that will just be in everyday use rather than something that's going to go in a museum or anything like that. I had a little bit more trouble getting the flywheel off than I anticipated. I had to heat up, took the top nut off, and I was told that they should pop off fairly easy, but that wasn't the case. So what I did was I heated around the top of the flywheel, not too crazy because I didn't want to upset any of this under here, and then just give it the odd tap now and then. I've read since that you need to be quite careful with that because these crankshafts can bend with very little abuse, so I'll have to give that another check over. But again, the rings look, well, they look like piston rings to me. There's no obvious nicks or dents or cracks or anything. I'll clean off the piston crown a little bit, make it look a bit shinier. It just looks like a relatively low use two-stroke engine to me, so I think I've got quite a good basis for a start. I think I'll take this base plate off as well and have a little look under there, and it'll enable me to get in here and just clean it all up so it's all nice and back to silver shiny metal, which is what we're trying to do before we put it back together. I'm going to investigate getting a fresh set of rings because I don't think that's going to break the bank, just so that I know it's got a new set of rings in there, and that means make sure that we've got as much as full power as we can out of the block and the engine. The thing I was going to find out tonight was in relation to the carburetor. Found out this particular engine should be fuel mixture is 10:1, but you can get a modification to change these jets. If I can get a bit of light in there, so you've got two jets in there. Just get my angles right. So I need to take those off. You can see they're square. Don't know whether you can actually get right in there. So they're square, and what I've been told is if you get a old radiator tap, you can actually get in there and undo those, and then they'll have some numbers on the side which will tell you whether it's been modified to 25:1 fuel ratio or whether it's still on 10:1. And I think the benefit of that is you obviously use less two-stroke oil, and you're also not surrounded by smoke every time you go out, because it's burning a little less oil as you're motoring along. So I think that's my next job. I've got a radiator valve tap thingy, and I'm going to, I've already started drifting the pin out of it. I'm going to take that right out, and then I'm just going to put a little slot in the top of there. And what I've been told is, or what I've read, is that will enable me to get in there and just take that jet out so I can have a bit of a look. Right, so we've got that. So what I've done there is I've just put fairly crudely put a slot in there with my hacksaw. A decent bloke would have put it in the centre of the spanner, but there we go. Blind man would be glad to see it. So next job is I'm going to see whether I can use this along with a screwdriver just to get one of these jets out. Let's see if we can see it again. So one of these jets here. I'm just going to have a quick look on the internet because I think I only need to take the one out, so let's go and find out which one it is before we start whipping things out. So I've got the power jet out, and using my crudely made jet spanner with me slot in it, and this is what the power jet looks like. So according to the experts on the internet, because I'm certainly no expert, if you've got the power jet that says 45 on it, that's still 10:1 fuel ratio, and for £5 or thereabouts you can order another power jet for these AML or AML 2-jet carbs, which are stamped with a 40, so you only need to buy the one, and it's identical to this to the naked eye, I can imagine, but it'll say 40 on it, and that converts your fuel ratio to 25:1. So I think I'll be ordering one of those and swapping that over. It's relatively simple to get out, and there's a little improvement we'll make. So we'll probably get one of those, and we'll get our new piston rings to replace these items. And not sure if we need anything else. I'll probably buy a new prop spring just to go in the toolkit. I'll get the gearbox. I'll have a little look. I'll take the prop off, and we'll have a little bit of a nose around the gearbox as well, and I'll buy some new gearbox oil. But besides that, it's a gasket set. I'll have a little think whether I want to treat myself to some new stainless steel head nuts and bolts. I think that's pretty much going to be it. Oh no, it's not. I want to buy some new stickers as well. So I've got a bit of a dream that I might take the end off of this tank and try and straighten out all these horrible bits. Worries me a little bit. I'll be able to get it to seal up again. But nothing ventured, nothing gained. I think you can buy another second-hand tank for about 10 or 15 quid. So if it all goes horribly wrong, well, I can get my hands on another one. So I might take the roughest end off. Try and do some of that. So I think it's a case of heating it up with a blow lamp and getting it particularly hot. It then unsolders around here, from what I've been told. You can then get in there and panel beat all your dents out, and then you can silver solder it back on. Sounds really easy, doesn't it? I'm sure it won't be, but we'll have a go at it. And then I can respray it. Got myself some new air brushes that I've been wanting to have a go with. Looks pretty good. So I'll respray it black, and then I'll put some new stickers on. The sticker's just about visible there with the writing. But yeah, apparently they started in the late 70s from what I've read. They did away with the brass tanks, obviously quite expensive. They started making them out of steel and then plastic coating them, and apparently they used to rot and look horrible. So yeah, it's quite nice to have the old brass tank. Still fairly common, I think. But if we can make that look a bit posher and a little bit fresher, I think the overall effect will be good.